I want to introduce our speaker today, Jawad Ziarma. I met Jawad and shortly after Sweta when they first visited the church, and have had the opportunity to get to know their wonderful family. Their daughter's here today with them. To me, they best represent what America means: respect, love, loyalty, and community. I'm so pleased that their family is a part of our church, and I look forward to continuing to learn from them. Jawad?
Good morning. This is really an honor for me, standing at this holy stage and talking about my journey, both in my homeland country, Afghanistan, and here in the United States of America. Before I start my talking, I like to start my speak with a quote. There are moments in life when we look back and realize that every challenge, every joy, and every turning point was leading us here for a reason. As most of you know, my name is Jawad, and I am honored to share with you the journey that brought me here from Afghanistan to the community I now call home here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I start talking about myself, I would like to present you brief information about my homeland country, Afghanistan. Afghanistan as a state in today's world is a new country, but as a civilization, it has almost 5,000 years history. Afghanistan, due to its geopolitical and geostrategic location, from the past until now was always under the attention and invasion of most powerful empires and states. It has a complicated geography with multicultural tribes and ethnicities living in it. Afghanistan served as a center of ancient Silk Route in Central Asia and Europe, which carried trades from Mediterranean to the China. Alexander the Great, when he wanted to march in Central Asia, he inevitably had to cross Afghanistan to access to Asian countries. He was trapped in Afghanistan and did much fighting there. When he was busy of fighting with the inhabitants, he wrote to his mother saying, "I am in a part of this earth, marching in it is very easy, but marching out of it is very difficult." Talking about the history of Afghanistan needs more time, but I want to focus on my main topic, which is about my journey both in Afghanistan and in the United States of America. I was born in northern Afghanistan in 1985, when my country was in war. It means I was born in war, grown up inside the war, and lived with the war. When I was born, as my parents said to me, a bomb hit directly at the back of our house. Unfortunately, none of us was injured, except a man who was crossing the road got injured on his leg. When I was in the age of my older son, is now 11 years, the current ruling regime the Taliban took over the rule of the country and banned everything on the people except praying and going to the mosque several times a day. During this time, not only our household financial situation was critical, but also all the people's living situation was disastrous. Learning modern education was banned, and listening to the radio and watching TV were banned too. The doors of schools were closed, and teenagers my age had to participate in religious schools, and they only had religious lessons. 4 years passed in this disappointing and dangerous situation when the USA, after September 11 disastrous events, launched Operation Enduring Freedom with other world communities and took down the Taliban oppressive regime. When the United States of America and other world communities came in Afghanistan, the dark days of my country became shining. The collapsed government system was established again, and the people experienced an elected government for the first time in their entire life. The media progressed, and the government institutions and branches were built. The country's infrastructures like highways, roads, hospitals, schools, and universities were rebuilt and opened again after 30 years of fighting in the country. From here, I thank the United States of America and the other world communities. They incurred many sacrifices during 2 decades in my country. Thank you very much. That was the time when I started going back to school after 4 years. During my school, I also attended English courses and got my English language certificate in 2005. As I had to work for my family, I both started working part-time as English language instructor in Afghanistan Independent Administrative Reforms and Civil Service Commission, teaching English language for government, civil servants, and studying my school during the night. My work as English instructor and going to school continued until 2009, when I joined the Faculty of Law and Political Science. I got my bachelor's degree in Afghanistan criminal justice system. During my university and studying different books and topics about human evolution, I got realized that what was being taught to us all was wrong, and I let my mind to choose its own way, and that was choosing the school and religion of humanity. After my graduation from university in 2012, I started working with an European humanitarian organization, Norwegian Refugee Council, as a legal trainer. I worked with this organization for 2 years with having many achievements of development of family law, inheritance rights, women inheritance rights, and solving legal disputes through an official institution manual and translating different Afghan civil codes in English. In 2015, I joined Pacific Architectures Engineers, PAE Incorporation, a USAID-funded project as National Legal Advisor. Our primary responsibility was to develop case management system, to record criminal cases in aid, and to train Afghan national police officers, attorneys, judges, and detention and prisons officials on how they can record the criminals' data in the system and how they can utilize the system for finding the criminal's background, not in a specific province of the country, but also in other provinces too. I worked with this organization until the Taliban again took over the role in August 15, 2021. Working with USAID projects in Afghanistan for 2 years, I had a privilege of traveling to the USA using a special immigrant visa for Afghans who worked on behalf of the USA government in their country. That's why I am now here in Jacksonville, Florida of the United States of America. During this time and receiving good benefits from the organization I was working with, I and my wife, Sweta, decided to establish 2 social organizations under the names of Globalization Programs and Support Organization, GPSO, and Professor Ghulam Muhammad Maimanagi Social Association, to work with other educated youths to institutionalize enlightenment in the society where we were living in. We had many achievements through these 2 organizations that today you see some pictures of this time, and on another day, I hope I can share more about our achievements in this regard. Here, I like to thank all the USA citizens for paying their taxes to support me, my family, and the other Afghans and my country, Afghanistan. Thank you very much. I once applied for a special immigrant visa to leave the country in 2018 and got only approval and had not continued its other procedural steps until the Taliban took over the role of the country. Our project decided to evacuate all its employees through Kabul airport in August 2021. But unfortunately, due to a huge rush in the airport, the project didn't succeed to evacuate all employees, and I and my family were left behind. From August 2021 until we were evacuated from the country, I was hiding at my father-in-law's home in the suburbs of the city. My father-in-law was a United Nations retired employee. He is an influential man in his area. He kept us out of grip of the Taliban for almost 2 years. During these 2 years, I was just at my father-in-law's home, and when I wanted to go out, my father-in-law always escorted me. I thank him from here and kiss his hands due to his efforts for hiding us. This was the time when I started writing not a book, but an essay under the title of A Letter from an Afghan Refugee to the Congress of the United States of America, where I talked about the 2 decades of America's presence in the country, what we were before America's presence, what we were after the presence of America, and why the history repeats once again. The topic also needs another time to speak about. In October 2023, I lost my older brother, who was working with an international organization, through a brutal assassination of the Taliban. My brother was working with International Medical Corps, and his responsibility was traveling in the rural areas and villages to train men and women how to use sanitary tools after their work and before eating their food. He was assassinated brutally by hitting him with stakes and knives. His dead body was thrown in an old well. His dead body was found from the well after a week by tracking his phone calls by the Taliban investigation departments. The Taliban then reported to us that he had connection with a woman of the Taliban family. However, it was wrong because no one was arrested in the case of assassination. His assassination was a warning alarm for me to leave the country as soon as possible. That was the time when I found a very kind congresswoman from North Carolina, Kathy Manning, and I sent an email in her office, which I found on the internet, telling the story of my brother's assassination and my own history of having a special immigrant visa. Her office sent me a form to fill out and sign to give her delegation permission to have access to my data in U.S. Department of State. After a week, I received a call from U.S. Department of State to be ready for evacuation. My father-in-law drove us from Faria province, where we were leaving, into Balkh province, and from Balkh province, we flew to Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, where our flight tickets were already booked by the U.S. State Department Afghan employees in Kabul. In December 2023, I, my wife, and my 4 kids left the country and flew from Kabul airport pretending having personal travel to the capital of Qatar, where we passed our medical checkup, an interview with the U.S. Embassy, and finally arrived here in Jacksonville, Florida, in January 12, 2024. Here I salute and thank from the bottom of my heart Mrs. Congresswoman Kathy Manning and the U.S. Department of State for rescuing us from a misery situation. Thank you very much. When we arrived here in Jacksonville, we were introduced to an organization, Lotron Social Services, and a kind family from one of Sweeta's close relatives named Harun Sherzad and Siamui Sherzad, who really helped us not to feel lonely in our new living home before I come to the UUCJ. I really appreciate both Lotron Social Services and our relatives for their kind support to settle in our new home. Thank you very much for what you did for us. Now, as a member of Unitarian Universalist Church of Jacksonville, why am I the member of Unitarian Universalist Church of Jacksonville? When we arrived in Jacksonville, Florida in July 12, 2024, after staying in a hotel named Extended Stay America Suites in Bay Meadows for 4 days, I and my wife and kids were moved by Lotron Social Services to Renaissance Strawberry Creek's apartment homes in the neighborhood of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Jacksonville. A few days after my arrival in my current living apartment homes and staying at my apartment with many positive thinking, I told myself, well, this is your living area maybe for a long and or for a short terms, but better to know your surroundings and to be involved with the community. I clearly don't remember the date, but one Sunday morning I decided to have a walk around this area and to find a place to be relaxed and to enjoy few moments to listening to the songs of a popular Afghan musician, Ahmad Zair, the legend Afghan singer with the title of East Diamond in the era of Elvis Presley here in the United States of America. I found a gas station and had a beer and was on my way back home listening to the music when I saw the name Unitarian Universalist Church on the sign of the church at the corner of the street. I stopped in front of the banner and analyzed the composition of these 3 words in my own thinking and analysis. I thought with myself that in accordance your beliefs and thinking, Jawad, you are also a Universalist. And you and the people who are the members of this place are also part of this universe. That was the time when I decided to enter in this church and see who the people are there and what is going on in this place. Then I walked in the church and faced with the other signs with written papers in it and the church covenant and principles. I read on the signs some phrases such as love is love, Black lives matter, climate change is real, No human being is illegal. This phrase, this word, really impressed me very much. Yes, no human being is illegal. Women's rights are human rights, LGBTQ, immigrants, and when we are together, we are stronger. And all over the principles and covenant and talking with very kind-hearted and open hands of this church members. And gathering and joining in the Sunday's service and listening to the great music players, holy worship with positive words, great speaking, sharing joys and sorrows, and different issues and behaviors, all attracted me and gave me positive energy. Now I am in the community of the Unitarian Universalist Church, where I am talking about my life to a group of community listening. I am proud of my community people listening to what I am thinking and saying. This is a great moment for me that I am now involved with this community and I am part of this community. I found this church as a place of energizing and relaxation. And I found the members of this church as my family members in my first visit and meeting of this place, and you are all kind people. Now, I am the member of this holy church, and I am proud of being the member and being among you all kind guys as this church members. Since my membership within almost a year, I, my wife, and my kids received many kindnesses from you, and I, my wife, and my kids are thankful of what you all do for us. If I mention all the kindnesses you guys did for us, it would take too much time. Thank you very much, all of you, as the members. You all gave me and are still giving me the feelings that I and my family are not alone here. And you all mean so much to me and my family as our other family members. We respect you all as our family members. We thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. I really and cordially shake your kind hands and kiss all your big hearts. Thank you very much again for all you did for me and for my family, and I look forward to growing together with all of you. Thank you very much. And thank you. Thank you.